Hello students, I am Shaborno Bishwas from Electrical Engineering Department of Jadavpur University and I will teach you C++ programming language along with my batchmate Arkaprabhu Acharya. Now, a question can come to your mind: how is this course different from other courses or other sources of learning? Now, this course will be made easy to learn and enjoyable. That is, through this course, you can easily learn C++ programming language and you will enjoy every bit of this course. Also, the course will be helpful to absolute beginners because we will start this course from very beginner level to the expert level, which will help you to become an efficient programmer in C++ in future. We will also provide some exercise questions along with their solutions. Practicing these exercises will help you to master the language. In this very first video of the course, we will discuss about what is programming and why should we learn C++. Basically, programming is a set of instructions to facilitate specific actions in a computer. Or in other words, programming is the process of creating a set of instructions that tell a computer how to perform a task. It is done through some specific languages which are called programming languages. Now, let us dive deeply into the history of C++ language. In 1979, Björn Stroustrup, a Danish computer scientist, began his work C with classes, the predecessor to C++. In 1982, Stroustrup started to develop a successor to C with classes, which he named as C++. C++ is the increment operator in C. What is increment operator? We will talk about it later in the course. In 1984, Stroustrup implemented the first string input-output library, and after 1 year, in 1985, the first edition of C++ programming language was released. From then, the language has evolved day by day. In 1998, 2011, 2014, and 2017, mentionable evolution of C++ has occurred as C++ 98, C++ 11, C++ 14, and C++ 17. Now, let us discuss about some advantages of the language. Firstly, C++ provides the feature of portability that allows us to develop codes without caring about the hardware. This lets us move the development of a program from one platform to other. For example, you are working on Windows operating system and for some reason you need to switch the Linux. The codes in the Linux will run without any error. Also, being mid-level programming language, we can treat C++ both as low-level and high-level language. Feature of high-level language help to develop games and desktop applications, whereas feature of low-level language help make kernels and data drivers. Now, what is low-level and high-level language, which I mentioned just now? Simply, I can say low-level language are easily machine-readable language and high-level language are easily user-readable language. Now, the object-oriented programming concepts like polymorphism, encapsulation, inheritance, and abstraction give C++ the biggest advantage over the other programming language. It proved to be of great significance since this feature was not in C. This helped users to treat data as object and classes. In this course, object-oriented programming concepts will be covered in details and object-oriented programming will be made easy to you. So don't be worried about these terms. C++ is a multi-paradigm programming language. Now what is paradigm? Paradigm refers to the planning involved in programming. That is the logic, the style, the way how we proceed with the program. C++ follows three paradigms. First, generic, that is using a single idea that secures multiple purposes. Second, imperative, that is using steps that change the state of the program. And third, object-oriented, that is using methods and classes for reusability and modularity. Also, C++ supports dynamic memory allocation, which helps to free and allocate memory. Since there is no garbage memory collection, C++ gives the programmer total control over the memory management. As C++ is a compiler-based programming language, we do not require to install a special runtime for the program. Hence, they're pre-interpreted and it makes the code faster and more powerful. Even the compilation and execution are faster, allowing it to create several kinds of programs from games to drivers to complicated GUIs. We have seen so many advantages of C++, but there must be some disadvantages for which programmers use different languages too. In order to specify the disadvantages, firstly, we need to come to pointer in C++. Pointer is relatively tough conception compared to other topics. Uninitialized pointers might result in system failure. We know that C++ is a multi-paradigm language that is object-oriented programming with polymorphism, templates, some support for functional programming. C++ is also not useful for platform-dependent apps and hence is complex in a very huge high-level program. C++ is very strict regarding the syntax. A little mishap gives a series of errors. That's why you need to be much precise to excel in C++. So, we now more or less have a clear perspective of the advantages and disadvantages. Regardless of the pros and cons, it would be great to carry on with C++ as it is one of the most widely used languages. By now, we have known many informations about C++ which you don't need to remember at all. So, it's time to know how to write a code in C++. So, to write a code, we first need an IDE or Integrated Development Environment. In this course, we will use Visual Studio Code made by Microsoft, which is free for Windows, Linux, and Mac operating system. It has various types of features including debugging, syntax highlighting, intelligent code completion, code snippets, and many more. Users can also change theme, set keyboard shortcuts, and install extensions that add additional functionality. We will look into all these features in the next videos and we will know more about it. Now, in the IDE, we can write the code. But what next? So, after writing the code, we need to compile it. That is, we have to transform this human readable code into a machine readable code with the help of a compiler. In this course, we will use MinGW compiler. Now, we will see how to install VS Code and MinGW compiler.
So guys, we'll now moving on to the installation part of the Visual Studio Code, also known as the VS Code, which is an IDE which is used for writing the code of C++. Shravan has already told you regarding the importance of IDE. IDE, you can always write the code in a notepad also, but then IDE helps you in code by providing suggestions and then also providing useful insights on how you can code. Indirectly makes your life much easier to code. So for our own reasons, we'll be using the Visual Studio Code, which is a very popular IDE used by millions of developers for writing different languages. So without wasting time, let us move on to the installation of the Visual Studio Code. So guys, move on to your favorite browser and then you can type VS Code in download. It's there in the sessions and then you can click on the link which first comes up. Here you can click on of Windows or Mac or whichever operating system you're using. I'm using Windows, so I'll be clicking on the Windows. Now there is one important property of Visual Studio Code, that is that even if you are using if you already have VS Code installed, then also you can install it again, but the settings will remain the same. So you can install VS Code as many times as possible, as many times as you want, without need much changes to your settings. So I already have VS Code installed, so I won't be installing it again. I'm canceling the download out here. Now you already know that VS Code is the IDE which is required for coding of C++, but now there's also need to be a compiler, because C++ language needs to be compiled by some software. So that compiler also needs to be installed. For that we'll be using MinGW compiler. So move on to your browser and type MinGW. The first link which comes up is MinGW Minimalist GNU for Windows download. Click on this link. Now here is the download option. You can start downloading this MinGW compiler. The MinGW.org is the official website for downloading the MinGW compiler, but that website is not available anymore. So here we have the MinGW get setup .exe out here, but I already have MinGW installed, so I won't be doing it again. But what you need to do next is that click on this and then move on to the setup. I'm just showing you. Like click on this install button, and then you will have to accept the terms and conditions, and then you'll have to move on to the installation procedure. But in case you get some error like MinGW is not being determined, or even if you're writing C++, then also it is showing that the compiler is not found, or any such like errors like that, then you have to set the path for the MinGW compiler by moving on to environment variables. We will, if in case most of you face any problems in installation of MinGW, then we will make a separate video on that also. So do write out in the comment section if you have any problem regarding the installation of MinGW. So now moving on to the next part, let us write our first program. So I've created a new folder which is known in the D drive, and now I'll be opening that with VS Code. Open with code. So that folder has now been opened in VS Code. Now I'll be creating a new file out here. So let us write hello world dot cpp. Dot cpp is due to the fact that the type of the file which we are using is a C++ file, so we'll be using dot cpp. So let us write our very first program out here. So let us write our very first program of C++. This you need not understand the exact meanings of all these syntaxes right now. Will be teaching you step by step about all these. Now just let us begin with a program to build your interest. So guys, this is our very first program which we have written out in this hello world.cpp file. So this program basically tries to print the hello world. It is our very first program. So without wasting any time, let us run this program in the beginning. See, we have got the output hello world. This is what we have tried to print, and we have got successfully the output. So this is a very first program which I have written using C++ language. Congratulations to all of you who have reached till this point of the course. So in the next all of the next videos we'll be learning what each of these words means and how they're related, what are the significance of these words. You need not panic if you have not understood any of the lines of this program. Well, just you need to understand that this program has tried to print hello world to the console, and that is what has been done by our program actually. So guys, thank you for watching this video. Do like, share and subscribe to our channel, and also if you find this interesting, then share it with all your friends, and keep watching our videos to gain more and more knowledge on what is coming up. So thank you.